Hello Flosstube, this is Natalia at OfficialMermaidsCove. In this video, I'm getting ready to frame the Mirabilia that I finished last month. And I just kind of wanted to show you the way it looks. This isn't really going to be a tutorial, but I just wanted to kind of give an idea of what my process is when I frame things. So let me look. So this is the frame that I'm using. I'm not going to be, I had some glass, I'm not going to be using the glass. I'm not going to be matting it or anything, and it's just got like a small edge. I had staples in it. I pulled all the staples out with pliers that was holding the backing in. This is the backing, and I used this to measure the mat board that I cut out. My husband helped me cut the mat board out. I'm using black mat board. This fabric, I've shown it before, it's kind of it looks a little threadbare when you're looking through it. Can you see? Yeah, you can see the frame back there. So I didn't want anything peeking through, especially because there were areas where I carried behind the beading when I was beading, like these areas and things like that. So I decided to mat this with black mat board. And the first thing I did is I looked back at the chart and I found the midsections. So a top point, I used this as a counting pin to mark where the middle section is for the top edge. And I use a counting pin down here for the bottom middle. Used another one right here for the middle on the side. And another one over here for the middle on this side. And then what I did is I measured this mat board. So one side measures, if I round up, it's like 16 inches. So you see there, the counting pin is about 8 inches. So that's the center. So that's centered there. And then if I check this side, also about 8 inches. So that's good. Then across the top here, we've got 20 inches. So midpoint is 10. So that pin's about, 10-inch point. If I come down here and I go straight across, pin's a little skewed right there, but close to 10. So what I'm looking for, because I kind of thrift some frames. I did look, there was another frame that I had that had silver edging, but I decided to go with this one. When I'm looking at the framing too, I'll try to put like the piece over the frame to make sure that it fits and it's not covering any of the areas of the stitching. So it's something I haven't mentioned yet. So I have this perfectly spaced, right? And it's stretched on here. I've already pressed down these pins, but if I didn't have them pressed down, what I'll do first is I'll work from the center that I have it marked, and I'll put these pins in, like maybe I'll try to go like every inch or so down. If you look here, you can see the spacing where I have these in. If it's not stretched out enough, if I'm still seeing ripples here, I'll stretch out a little bit more, and then I'll follow the thread line all the way down with the pins. And once I'm done, I'll take a flat surface, like this little tin I had my pins in, and I'll press the pins down flat into the foam core. So hopefully they won't be sticking out when I try to place this in the frame. I'm going to go through here and make sure I don't have any slubs or areas that I stretched out. Some of this, like you see here, again, this table linen I'm used to stitch this on is kind of thin. So you can see there's areas that it's stretched over. I'm not worried about that because it's going to be covered by the lip of the frame. I was trying to see, I thought I found a section where it looked a little stretched. I'm just going to maybe fix with the, well, right here where the counting pin is. Where the counting pin is right here at the edge. You see that some of these areas have been stretched. So I'm going to take these out now that I have this where I want it. But I'm just going to take this, the edge of this, and try to straighten out those threads a little bit. Hopefully not make it too noticeable. Here, this edge too. Right here. These are a little stretched all over the place. So I'm going to take this, try to even out the spacing in there. Looks better. Yeah, that kind of fixed that. So I'll go ahead and take these counting pins out. Yeah, there's a little bit of holes from where it was stretched. Hopefully the tension that I have on these will help with that too. Come down over here. When I stretched this out, I actually did pretty good on the sides here. So this way I had it stretched good on the top. I had to stretch it out a bit more. So when I came down here, I already had this whole line of pins set. But I just wanted to stretch it a bit more. There's still some rippling here. I don't iron my pieces when I do this. I just stretch it out until it lays flat. And I kind of didn't want to iron this. You know, this has some metallic threads in it, especially here for the, you know, this back stitched in metallics, and this thread too is like plasticky metallic. So I didn't want to, and also the beads. You know, I didn't want to. Even if you put a towel down, sometimes if you have to get it hot enough to try to get all the wrinkles out. So I never end up, if I'm framing it, I never end up ironing it. I just stretch it out to the point where it lays flat. And this is pretty darn flat. I don't know if you can see. It's pretty darn flat. I got to the point where it doesn't really have any rippling or anything on it. So I'm pretty happy with where this is. And I have taped down all the pins. Now, when I'm done with that, we still have this backing fabric. I tried to pin some of this to get it out of the way. Take those pins out. I'll just pin the corners here to keep the fabric out of the way so it wouldn't get caught in the other fabric when I was taking it out. Oh, there it is. I was looking for my container. So put these back in. Just taking it out of the corners. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to place it inside the frame. What I have done in the past is it's not really lacing right because I'm using the pins to hold this stretched out. But I will go back in the back and try to like keep this flat towards the back here by taking some stitches and running them across as if I were lacing it. I don't know if I'll need to do that. I'll see what it looks like after I put the backing on. I might not need to. But if I do that, what I typically use is I'll take some crochet yarn, crochet thread, 0 size. This one actually might be a little thicker than I typically use. Yeah, this is size 10. I usually maybe use the size down. But I could use this too. I have a lot of this lying around. Because I use white, well, maybe just because I have a lot of white laying around, I'll use white thread. I've seen people do it with pearl cottons too, but I feel like that'll work. This doesn't really have any, okay, so it does. This is a frame that I thrifted. It does have hanging gear on here. This is nailed in. I'm probably going to end up prying this off, putting some backing paper, and I'll probably do this in another step. And yeah, I might not film that whole part of it, but right now the hanging hardware is on the short side of the frame, and we want it to be lengthwise because I almost forgot to take a pin out for this one. Okay. So I'm going to try to place her in the frame. And it should be a bit of a snug fit with the fabric wrapped around the mat board. So yeah, it's a little snug, but it fits there. Okay, let me add the backing to it. I'm wondering if I should lace this after all or not. I might not do it this time around because there's not too much of an edge. I guess I got it just enough to frame it in this frame. Okay. So I put the backing board on here and it fits, and we can turn this around. Let's see how it looks in the frame. She looks so good. Let's see if I can lift this up for you so you can see the full. I hope I'm not making you dizzy. Okay, can you see the full frame there? Yeah, I think she looks really good. I think it looks really good against that black backdrop, and I really think it was a good choice to do the black, because this, I mean, you can even see some of the black behind the white areas here, but I feel like that's a better background than having it be white, because then it really highlight the fact that this fabric's pretty sheer. Oh, she looks so pretty. I'm so happy. So yeah, so then this has staples in it. If you don't have this next tool, what you could have done is left the staples in and then just kind of bent them back in to hold this in place. The way that the staples were put in here, they weren't the kind of staples, like if you had to keep bending them back and forth, they might break. What I bought is this. It's a picture frame tool. Okay, I still have the packaging. I have used this a couple times already, but I think I just put it in here after I was done. So it's a frame tacker. This is the model that I have. I watched a tutorial and it's been so long that I can't remember. I apologize. I can't remember the Flosstuber who recommended this. But this is the model that I got. There's a brand name version of this, and it was, well, maybe $20 more expensive. And this was on sale, so I just opted for this, and it worked great. So this is, I think, from China, or I could be totally wrong about that. But it does come with a bit of instruction, right? You can tighten this here if you want the points to go deeper in. I think, yeah, I already have points in here. If you see there, you can see I already have this loaded with some points. But it gives you instructions on how to load it. Here, you lift this piece up. You see I just push back on this. You lift this piece up, and then you can load the points here with the points facing out, because you want them to go into the frame to bite into the wood. And then you just tamp it down to lock into place. And then typically you want to have this, I don't have this on a table or a flat surface, but here, let me get my quilt and press, and I can do it that way. Yeah, this is wide enough to where I can kind of get some leverage, because you're going to want to put some force down on this to get it down into the, you know, put some pressure onto your work. So I'm going to go with probably maybe 4. So I'll do it off center. So this would be the center. I'm going to go over here next to it and butt it up against the side there, and then put some leverage down and squeeze. You see? We have a tab in place. And once you have these bolted down, these are pretty easy to like bend back and then put things back in. Or if you need to pull them off with pliers, you can also do that. So I'm going to put this close to the corner now and put another one. Just like that, easy peasy. We'll go down here, put another one, good, and then go down this corner, like an inch away from the edge, put another one, nice. So you see, I just did that side there, and it really helps hold it snug in the frame there. I can't remember how much this was. I think it was less than 60 bucks. So if you're, it's a bit of an investment, but if you're going to be doing a bunch of these pieces, I would say it's kind of worth it, instead of paying to have multiple pieces framed. So I'm going to go for this side too. That's fine. We'll space them out a little bit more. good intact. So I just did all the sides, and we've got a big depth there because I'm not framing this with glass. So there's a good edge there. If I wanted to add glass, I could have. If you're gonna put glass on here, you know, I would just say, make sure to have it on a soft area. You still want to put some leverage on it, but you don't want to put too much pressure where you crack that glass. And have it on a level surface, of course. And then, right, the frame edges should help with that. If I had beading on here, you just got to be careful with it if you're going to frame it with glass. I chose to not do that with this one. Okay, so the last step is, and I'm probably going to end up having to do this later, but what I do is, do I have, I think I have a couple of examples of this. But I was going to try something different for this time. So I've used a couple of things in the past to do this. I think I was going to try to use this time, which is some double-sided tape. I think it might work. I'm hoping it's not too thick. This is just some double-sided Scotch permanent tape. Actually, if I take the roll out, I could probably check and see. This is going to be... this might be a little too wide for this specific frame. I might want to use the other tool. So the other option I have for this is this tool. And this is well, I think this is supposed to be permanent too. See, it's a little thinner than what I was using before. Okay, there we go. Yeah, and this is like, I don't know, it's a little bit easier application because you can just roll it. But I'm gonna pry this off and I'll roll this along the edge, and then I'm gonna use some brown package paper. I think that's what I've just been using to make a dust cover so that we don't have a bunch of dust build up on the back here. And then after I put that back on there, then I'm going to hammer back in this on the other side, right side up, where you would hang the picture frame off of. That's basically what my process has been so far. I think getting that tool to put the tabs in really made a difference. I think that's going to look so nice on the wall. So I hope the person who receives it is happy. I'm also planning, so when I put the dust cover on, I'm planning on putting the description that Nora has for this one, since it's like a tribute to nurses. I'm planning on taping that on the back too. So, and signing it. I didn't put my signature on here. I sometimes do that with my pieces. I don't think I did it here because I feel like it would have been too noticeable. And especially with this fabric, I didn't feel like I could backstitch it neatly. So I just left it as is, and I'll just sign the back of it on the dust cover. But yeah, if you have any questions or if I can clarify things, I think there's another piece that I'm planning on framing too. Again, I'm not necessarily trying to make a tutorial, I'm just trying to give you an inside look into how I typically do this for my pieces. If you have any questions, let me know and I can try to clarify things and show another example if you want more specificity when I frame my second piece. But yeah, I hope you liked this. I hope this was helpful. Until the next time, bye. Hey, okay, so I'm filming this again on a different day just to show you how this looks framed in some daylight. I think she looks really good in that frame. And I can bring her in a little bit better at a different angle. You see how nicely I stretched her out using those pins? And I didn't iron her at all before I did this. So it works out pretty well. Using the pins to help guide you on that line. Yeah, she's really nice and flat on there. So yeah, I'm really happy with how she looks. I can shift this over to the back real quick. This is how it looks like with the tabs in there. This is the backer board that was with it. It does not have glass, but there's plenty of, you see there's like a good what would that be, a centimeter? Good centimeter, so for if I wanted to put glass on there, and I would have had enough room to do that. Today I'm just going to back it with the glue and put this packing paper on the back as a dust cover. I'm going to take this out first and do that, and then I can show you again once I'm done. Okay, so I'm back. I put this parchment packaging paper on the back as a dust cover, and I measured the center here at the top. So make sure you find where you want to hang the hanging hardware. So the side, I measured it so that, you know, the teeth are at the bottom so it'll catch the nail. And I measured the middle here and tried to center it. You see that mark where I put the middle, and tried to center it as best I could, and then I hammered it in back in over the disc cover. And then I also put these. They're like bumpers. You can get them for your cabinets and stuff. These are square ones, but you can also get circular ones. And I just put some here at the bottom. Sometimes I put them on all four corners, depending on how I do it. Sometimes I have like the cord that hangs in the back. I usually use whatever hanging hardware comes with the frames, and this is the one that came with this one. But yeah, if you need to sometimes when I use the wire, I also put bumpers on the top as well. But for this one, yeah, I think I just have bumpers at the bottom, so it won't scratch the wall when it's hanging. So that's it. I hope that was interesting for some of you. Like I said, I'm still planning on hanging a second one, so when I finish that one, if there's details that you want more information on, just pop a comment below, and I'll keep that in mind for the next time, and I can video if I get any questions, I can videotape the second one that I'll frame and record a video with going into more detail on some of the questions that I get. If not, I might just show you how, you know, kind of like a quick overview, kind of like I did with this one. I'm still planning on, like I said, I'm going to print out the description for the Nightingale and glue it onto the back of the dust cover and maybe sign it as far as the stitched piece goes. And yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to display this at the retreat later this month, and the recipient will be happy with it when they get it.